Yeah, good afternoon to you students. Children, good afternoon. Sorry for the delay because of some connectivity issues. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So today for the cleaner production subject, so this is a preparation for this. The first slide. The first slide is a preparation for this. Here you can see the table. There are 6 columns. Okay, the first column is, you can see downwards, some names are here: insurance, airline, hotel, hotel means hospitality, banking, defense, security, health, education, transport, dairy, fishing, agriculture. Of course, we can have even a longer list. And here we have the industry, enterprise or businesses, processes, product and service. And rightmost, you can see some keywords: industries, services, products, processes, enterprise, and businesses. What you see in the last 5 columns. Okay. So we are going to fill this now together. So better have a look on this, Putala. Yeah. Okay. I hope you can contribute. You can unmute maybe your phones, sorry, mics. That is good. If you can unmute, okay. To respond, let's say, is insurance an industry? I have to say someone yes or no. Is insurance an industry? Normally, when it comes to the wordings, what we say, we used to say insurance. How do you say insurance? Yeah, please someone. Insurance, we call it. Yeah, Chatu. Yeah, you can comment. We call it what? Oh, did I share the
Insurance
slide?
is
Yeah.
service, no, sir.
Yes, that is service. That is service, that's true. That's a service. But generally, what we call when it comes to the insurance, what we call this insurance industry or insurance business, so insurance, how we call this insurance service. Generally, let's say example, hotel. We call hotel industry. You understand? We call hotel industry. We call it hotel industry. That is the word we use to mention when it comes to the hospitality. Okay. But it's a service, that's true. It's a service. That's true. Okay. It's a service. Okay. So are there products? Are there products? Are there products? Yes, hotels, they have the packages. You may see if you look into the websites, even there are packages. Packages are something like the products they are offering, sometimes the 3 days, 2 nights. So you can see that kind of packages. So we call these are something well defined service products. Okay, well defined service packages. Package means product has a packing, it has a package. Okay, finally when you do the product, you do the packaging. So it is something like even they use the word package. Yeah. So hotel industry, they offer products. Of course, it's a service, but there are dedicated, there are some that kind of the products they are offering hotels. We can say it is reasonable, okay? And one more, when it comes to the processes, of course, hotel industry is they have a very good uh, business process as well as there are some processes. Example, there are some many departments and so many processes. Even the kitchen is a process itself. Raw material in, meals out, okay, and the dishes out, desserts whatever out, and the equipments are there to do the processes. Even they do cleaning departments there, sometimes the housekeeping, sometimes the restaurant service. So there are processes involved in providing the service. Processes are there, okay, processes are there. So is this hotel a business or enterprise? Yes. It's a business also, it can be an enterprise. Enterprise is something like it is more innovative and it is more than making money. Business is mainly focusing on the profit, but if you are really on some challenging task, providing services and some products, and then in return, when you are gaining some income out of that, it is something like enterprise. Okay. So are you agree with this? So are you agree that hotel has all these five? Do you agree? Yeah, all silent. All silent. Any issues? Yeah, because when it, even in the newspapers and all, hotel, we use it trade, hotel industry, and we never use the term hotel service. Services are their outputs, but it's a service industry. Okay, it's a service industry. See, service is there, industry is there. So it's a service industry, hotel. So when it comes to airlines, okay, when it comes to airlines, normally we used to, yeah, it's a service true, but when we use the term airline, we call it airline industry. Even you can Google hotel industry, airline industry. Even insurance, it's an industry. Insurance industry. If you Google insurance industry, that comes. Yeah, that's why. So see the service industry. That's it. So hotel is a service industry. Okay. So output is the service, but it's an industry. Okay. Same way. So let me think of airline industry. Okay. So are there processes? Of course, yes. Service processes, business processes. Do they offer products? Yeah, do they offer service? Obviously, it's a service. Okay. Do they offer products? Of course. Economy class, business class, then the first class. So they offer the different customized services, means those are something like products. Okay. Those are something like products. That is the common sense. So when you think of product, it's looks like in a manufacturing example, in the refrigerator industry, they produce refrigerator. It's a product, that's true, but of course that is physical. Okay, that is physical. So even in the airlines, they are offering products. Those are service products. Mm, of course, so all are physical aspects. And finally, it leads to the comfort and some assurance and all the things. Yes, those are also considered as products. Okay. Yeah. So are you agree with this? Yeah, management students, can you raise your voice? Are you agree on that? Yes. This is out of your definitions maybe, but this is what the norms are. Yes, management students. Yes. Management students, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, all look silent. Uh, all silent. Yeah. If possible, please respond. Yeah, we need some uh, responses from you. So when it comes to the insurance policies and all, those are the products provided by insurance. Okay, insurance policies and all, those are the products provided by the insurance companies. Of course, it's a service. Okay, of course, it's a service. So do they make money? Yes, they do make money. Okay, they do make money. So it's a business enterprise. Do they have the processes? Yes, of course, they have the systems and all to offer the services. Is it an industry? Of course, yes. When you have this product, the name product, okay, so it becomes industry. Actually, in insurance sector, we call it insurance industry. Okay, insurance sector is what we call the insurance industry. So that's how it is. That's how it is. The insurance industry. Do you have any questions or any confusions? Yeah. So don't worry much about the wordings, but you can feel this. So airline also is a industrial oriented enterprise. Okay, enterprise and the business. So when it comes to banking, nowadays, because now everything has turned into profit making. Okay, turn into profit making. So if you think of banking, of course they are offering their services, true. But as a services, they have some packages like that. They have some schemes, they call loan schemes for SME loans, housing loans, leasing, and all the schemes means they have the services, but some packages are well defined, and finally, those can be considered as products. Okay, and of course, banking sector there are systems and processes. They have in and out. Okay, so of course, those are enterprises, the businesses. Banking is already a business now. They are really earning money, then providing services. They are really rich. So they make business and banking. We can consider as industry because all are now becomes industries. Of course, all we call industry. Defense, but this is unique. Even from the beginning, sometimes instead of the word defense, we use the word services. Yeah. So sometimes when we ask from someone from defense where I'm working, and if he doesn't know about him or her, so they say the defense people say they are working for they are in the services. Services means Army, Navy, Air Force. They have no products. Okay. They have the processors, the systems are there, but mostly it depends on the time and the situation. Okay, so they have the processes. We would say they have the processes, but this is not an industry. This is not an enterprise. See the difference. Okay, when it comes to defense sector. Okay, and there are processes. There are services. Okay, that's all. They don't offer products. Yeah. But when it comes to security, there are private security firms as well. Let's say private security firms. Okay, security firms. Security firms. Firm itself says this is a business. Okay, this is a business. They have some processes, of course. They have some processes. They have to follow the procedures, disciplines. Yeah. So no, so many things. And they offer products. Sometimes the food they have some scopes. So we can say they have some product like services. They have some packages, maybe probably. So they offer their services are well defined, systematic and routine product. Of course, it's a service. That's why we call service industry. So normally, when it comes to service, the other word is the service industry. Okay, and the production we call the manufacturing industry, or manufacturing sector. Service industry or service sector. So health nowadays, of course, obviously it's a service. But now you can see health become a business for some. Okay. For some health can be a business. But for government, this health is a service. Okay. For government, health is a service, but for some, health can be a business. It depends. So the private sector health can be a business. So sometimes for the governments, it is not a business. So let me say zero. Okay, zero means it's not a business for the government. So when it's not a business, that is not an industry. Okay, that's not an industry. Okay, it's not an industry. Yes, processes are there. The products, when they have a business, they have some products as well. Even the packages for health screening, these and those. Even when they go for some big surgeries and all, they have the packages for private sector. You can see, but for the government, no such thing. Okay, but both are providing services. That's how the health become an industry nowadays. So for some countries, health is a business. Yeah, they earn money, especially Singapore-like countries. Now they have started earning money, even over a decade now. Health industry, they call it health industry. Health sector is an industry. But for Sri Lanka, it is not. And it is good that health sector should be maintained as services. That is very important. That is very important. Yeah. Because the social aspect will be diminished when it becomes a business. That's why. So later we will discuss those. Education. It's not an industry when it comes to the services. Universities all free education. Service, of course, it's a service. So you are benefited. Okay, you are benefited. Service, but you can say there are something like degree programs, and also there are some product-like features there. Of course, they have the non-product features like the research and all. So both aspects are there. Processes, yes. Okay, enterprise, sometimes for private sector, yes. Government sector, no. That's why. So education for government sector is not an industry, but for the private sector, it has become an industry. So you as citizens of Sri Lanka, even as high students, so no matter manufacturing, food, or whatever the disciplines, it is good to have some awareness of this. It's an enterprise. Yeah. See, slowly the free education is becoming enterprising now, means the students are charged, and slowly the service aspect is getting diminished. But the quality aspects are maintained, because even when they need to run as enterprises and businesses, quality is important. But anyway, now Sri Lanka education also is something like very mixed and very confusing. It is something like a kottu nowadays. And so it is very important to clarify these sectors. That is extremely important. So transport industry now become industry. So health become industry, but only security. Security firm is an industry, but defense is not an industry. But for some defense, like US, defense become a big income earner. They develop the weapons and all R&D, even they sell the weapons. So that becomes enterprise in US. And that is that those are the aspects we are seeing. So we have some geopolitical related defense conflicts, even defense dealings. So those are really questionable. But in for Sri Lankan context, defense is purely a service. It's a good service we are providing. Even international, we do provide defense services like peacekeeping and all. So transport sector, earlier it is totally a service, but now all need to survive on their own, so they all become the enterprise or business. If it has to be enterprise, it should be enterprise. So enterprise has good aspects, so those should be considered as industries. There should be well-defined business processes and operations on. And of course, it's a service. That's true. It's a service. It's a service. And there can be products as well. Sometimes the semi-luxury and all the categories you can see. So there are something like now even the transport sector is in between. It is not enterprising or neither enterprising nor purely a service. So it's in the midst and it's in the confusing situations. That's why it is not moving forward. Either enterprising or the business model are not right, or the service models are not right. Yeah, that's right. So we have some issues. So especially the future leaders as you is very important to know. Dairy obvious is an industry. You should run with the profit. There should be processes as well. You have the products coming out. So dairy is an industry. It is not a service. Fishing industry we call it. This should be enterprising, but anyway, mostly the fishing is now, the fishermen are poor, so that is, the enterprising outlook is very, very weak. There are processes, of course, there are systems. Of course, there are products, but our products are not that value added and the very basics, yeah, it is not a service. But when it comes to agriculture, we have to see, so far we have not seen this as industry, but some are seeing this as industry, but for some this is a mean of living, like farmers. So our industry aspects of farming should be reviewed. So by right, this should be enterprise. Otherwise, farmers will be poor. The processes are there. Of course, they do products. Yeah, we have to think in that way. And of course, that is one way a service. How to say? It is a bit confusing, but anyway, it is really contributing. So, but agriculture we will not consider as a service. See, so some are manufacturing or agriculture industries, some are service industries. I hope you can understand this and let me project this just for a while for you to go through. Okay. Industry aspects, enterprise aspects, processes are there. See, all the, no matter it's a product or service, okay, no matter it's a product or service, you can see processes are there, processes are there, okay. So you have both product and product, you have a product as a service, or you have product as a product, okay, or you have a product as a product, yeah, or product as a service. So first, several lines, product as a service. Others only some services and some product as services. So this is the basic background preparation for today discussion. Okay, this is the background preparation. Is this clear to you? Is this clear to you? I didn't go on the definitions of the words, but the basic understanding, basic feelings of the words, the basic usage of the word, not that academic, but practical. Practically how these are considered. Okay? Can you hear? Hello? Anyone? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Very good. So this page considered important. So when you look into some businesses, so whatever you must have this info naturally must come to your mind. Yeah, you must have this sense. Yeah, you must have this sense. What kind of industry? What kind of products, packages they are providing products? What kind of services? How would be the processes? How enterprising is this? Because finally these matter to you because you should run your own enterprises, your own businesses. Okay, good. So you can see that only the defense is surviving as a pure service. Yes, health, government sector, health sector is purely a service. That's true. But when it comes to education, also government, there is a service aspect, but education is a mix now. So people spend on education, so some are investing on education. So education become enterprising nowadays for the private sector, even the private medical faculty also. There are plans or some there are announcements of coming. So we don't know how the things are, how this fitted to the socio-economic environmental landscape of the country. So anyway, those are judgmental, but things are coming. Means education, especially the medical education, now is turning into the money making. Yeah, that's why. But in country like Singapore, Singapore, they have only one medical faculty. You believe me, that is the medical faculty linked to the National University of Singapore and the National University Hospital. So they are maintaining a superior quality one. So of course, that is anyway improving and the social contribution is pretty much high. Contribution to the economic aspects also pretty much high. And of course, the environmental is nothing much maybe to do with the medical education, but you can see the socio-economic aspects are well balanced. But anyway, Singapore medical education is not free, but those are something like scholarships of huge amounts government is pumping. So most of the students are getting those scholarships of millions worth. So they have to serve the government. That is the bond. So that's how it is valued. Somehow it is valued. Instead of giving free, they gave the scholarship and they keep a bond for that. So it is something like that. So the medical faculties are running on profits, and the students are running on this that kind of they are not getting money, but the government is paying on behalf of the students. So those are some very good enterprising models, social enterprise models. So those are running very well, but in our case it is different. Yeah. So let me continue this. Let's start this. This is the second slide. In the first slide, you have seen the keywords here. Now these keywords we are going to understand more. Okay, these keywords we are going to understand more. Industries. Keywords we are going to explain. So in the first slide we have discussed all. You see the enterprise or business all ticked means anything, yeah, and the enterprise or a business or industrial services, but defense is not here, except defense. When it comes to businesses, you have seen the process. If I move back to the previous slide, you can see the process all ticked here. Enterprise and business all ticked except defense. Okay, so enterprise or business and the process. So it's a process. Okay, there are all are processes. Processes means within that business establishment or network, some activities are ongoing. Some activities, some actions, the flow of activities. Okay, maybe the computational or computer based or the machine based. Or the human based, the activities, the flow of activities, the network of activities are there. For these activities, there will be inputs. Okay, there will be inputs either in raw material or energy or human resources or in other forms. Okay, so the processors, you have the machineries, equipments, computers, and even your infrastructure, all the things are there. And inputs to the processors or the business, you will get outputs, the products and services. In the keywords, you have noted the product, services. Okay, inputs are not there anyway. So the outputs, products or services. So process, products, services, enterprise or business, industry and services here. So you have seen all the keywords in the previous slides and you have some understanding. So do you think is this the only aspect of the business enterprise? Is this the only aspect? Only the outputs? Won't there be unwanted? Even there can be byproducts. There can be byproducts. Example, when it comes to the petroleum manufacturing, the refineries. So when you process the crude oil to get kerosene, petrol means the gasoline, diesel. These are the three products they are getting out of the petroleum refineries. Petroleum refineries. But there are a lot of byproducts. Even the tar. Tar again, this is a byproduct of the process. Bitumen. Even they are producing nylon by using some other, there can be some other minerals. Yeah. Even plastic, raw material coming from the petroleum byproducts. So there can be byproducts. Even, let's say example, service sector also there can be byproducts. Example in a hospital. So hospital means those are maybe cater for the patients, indoor patients. Even they cater for outdoor patients. OPD, outdoor patients division is there. In private sector, let's say government sector, it's a service. Okay. So in the private hospitals, since they need to make more money, even they offer the services for outdoor patients. Okay, maybe, or even maybe the repeated or the frequent visits of the previously recovered patients, maybe, or even their pharmacies are open for the outsiders. So those are like the byproducts, the services, the pharmacy. Sometimes they do the lab test for the other parties as well. Yeah, if it's a hospital catered for the patients there, why don't they only cater for the patients within the hospital? No, they offer the services to the outsiders as well. So those are like the other services, same like the byproducts. Those are valued and can make money out of them. That's why hospitals, private hospitals are very big businesses. So no more service aspects are there because they are really doing something like a bad business. Squeezing the people's money, most of the hospitals, private. Also, there can be wastes. Okay? So, inputs, outputs, byproducts, and waste in the industries. Even in petroleum or whatever, there are material waste, there are energy waste. Right? So, those are their wastes are there. Even in the service sector, there are waste. There are wastes, sometimes undefined waste. Yeah, waste. Yeah. Even, yeah, you can see in the service sector also, lot of waste. Yeah, possible waste. Sometimes even the waste of time, time is a resources, time is money. So even sometimes the time wasting also there. Sometimes the software running and there can be some wastes. Yeah, wastes because of some different decision making, the changing of the decisions or the processes, whatever. So no matter it's a tangible product like produce manufacturing refrigerate, as I mentioned to you, or running a hospital, serving the patients, still you can see the waste. Of course, there are waste in the hospital, the bio waste, and so many waste are there. Even in the industries, there are waste. So when it comes to the, yeah, later we will discuss the waste aspect. Now, this is your model. Okay, you have the inputs, process, products, output, products and services, byproducts and waste. So other than that, so this is your scope of interest, but you have the environment and humans even within this enterprise or outside the enterprise. So human and environment, yeah, human health, human safety within the enterprise, outside the enterprise, the general public people. So environment, the manufacturing or service in enterprise or business environment, and outside is the environment where those all business are taken place. Environment. So the human and environment aspects are there. Furthermore, yeah, outside human and environment aspects. So when we combine everything, so this is something like what you are saying. Okay, your business enterprise and the human and environment is there. Okay, so byproducts, value additions, and the waste, we have to do the waste minimization, reduce and recycle. Of course, lot of things we can consider. Let me move forward. Yeah. So I think IM students, this is a little bit familiar, this one. So any business or industry enterprise have to be socio-economic and environmental friendly. So social friendly, economic friendly, and environmental friendly. So these three aspects should be there. So these should be considered. That's why. So here, human and environment included in this business means humans means the social. Okay, environment is there, came together with the social factor, and generally doing a business means it is economic friendly somehow. Okay, so it is not only to be economic friendly, but should be social friendly and also should be environmental friendly. Then only these enterprises really contributing to the sustainability, and these enterprises can be considered as cleaner. Okay, they really do some cleaner production activities or cleaner processes are there. So the middle word S means S, common to economic friendly, environmental friendly, social friendly. So somehow achieving your industry at this S area is important. So no matter where your industry lies at the moment, maybe either here or here or here, or somewhere here maybe, only economy friendly only, you should bring this towards S. Yeah. Bringing towards S means you have to improve the environmental friendly aspect and social friendly aspect. So when you bring in social friendliness and the environmental friendliness to the economy friendliness, it becomes sustainable. Yeah. And also the only environmental friendly but not economic friendly, those are not enterprises anyway. Yeah. Environmental friendly enterprise anyway should be profitable. Okay. Otherwise, it is not economy friendly, means it won't sustain as a business or enterprise. Yeah, so that is. So the next slide. So you have all in the fingertips now. All in the fingertips. I hope you can see this. Put up in on this slide digger. Can you see? You know the slide digger. Huh? Can you see the word now and future on
Yes.
the black strip underneath? Yeah, okay. You should see this. Okay, very good. Later I can share these slides. And time is the other aspect. So business enterprise, when you do it, not only you are doing today only for this week or this month or this year and close the business, no such thing. So you should be running this. So it's for now and future. It's for now and future. Huh? So this one. So now with these pictures, you try to have a very good mind mapping. So this one you can have a very good mind map. So the time scale is there. So when comes the time scale? Because of this environment factor, that is very important. Nowadays you can see the environmental issues, because those days, in decades back, they never think like now and future, those days. But now we are suffering, we learn from the lessons. So now we have to think of the future. So we have to take care of the environment. So we have to prevent the environment from damages due to industries. Environment prevention from industrial damage. I use the word damage, that is fine. Because some industries damage the environment. Okay? Damage. It's like a wounding. Okay? Damage. Damage when we use the damage word. If we have some cut or accident, whatever, we have the damages and all some destructions. Damages. But here industries, they damage the environment. So there should be some prevention prevention approaches to eliminate the industries causing damages to the environment. So this one, the environmental prevention, industrial damages. Okay, actually, industries damaging the environment. Anyway, don't worry about the words arrangement. Yeah. So I just put in this way the industrial damages to the environment. Okay. So we have to think of this when we do it now. So you may be in the manufacturing sector, you may be in the food processing sector, you may be in the industrial management sector. Now these are the three disciplines you are following, but future, even you would be multidisciplinary or even cross-disciplinary, or you may be looking into new disciplines in the industries. So having this overall view, is, I would say this will help you, help environment and help the humans and the societies, and even this helps the businesses to last long, long lasting businesses. Okay, last for long. So the same one. So now we are here, think of the future. So we have to prevent the environment. Okay, we have to protect the environment by preventing industrial damages. So that's why you have to have something like so we needs integrated means considering all. You have to consider inputs, you have to consider process, you have to consider waste, you have to consider byproducts, you have to consider outputs, you have to consider human and all means collective, integrated. Integrated means consider all together. Yeah, interactions and integrated. Okay, integrated. Environment protection strategy is very important for the industries. It is very important. You should not only consider your inputs for the environment protection. If there are wastes, you have to work out the waste minimization as well. If there are byproducts, anyway, that is also maybe not that wanted, but those can be valued. Somehow, even minimizing the byproducts may be good. So you can minimize the inputs. Also, you have the more outputs, more qualitative, and your productivity could be high. So that's why you have to consider all together. All the interactions you have to consider at once, not one by one separate, all collectively. That is what we call integrated. Okay? Integrated. So, considering all the aspects, integrated. Integrated. Environment prevention strategy. That is very important. If we think of the future by considering this enterprise business processes, there are inputs and outputs and byproducts and waste. So again, I'm repeating the bottom line on the black strip, on the white words. We need integrated environment prevention strategy, and that is what we call cleaner production. That is what we call cleaner production. When we have this prevention strategy, so when we think of the future, we are thinking of keeping the resources safe for the future generations as well. Because future aspects of all, about the inputs, about the outputs, yeah, waste, we think of the future as well, connected with the humans and the environment. So this is a master slide. Even I can share this with you. Well, so now you have a very good view and some memory, photographic memory of the clean production aspects. Okay. And we need to look into the cleaner production assessments as well. We need to look into the cleaner production assessments as well. So anyway, the cleaner production, again here it is defined based on the previous slides. Cleaner production means a continuous application of integrated preventive environmental strategy to processes and products to reduce risk to human and environment. If you think of the keywords here, human is there in the previous slide, environment there in the previous slide, preventive environment strategy. Okay. This is also in the previous slide, environmental strategy on the process and products. Okay, to reduce the risk to human and environment. So this is the integrated approach. And we have to apply this continually, not only apply now. You cannot apply now for the future forever, no such thing. You have to apply this continuously. So this has some practical sense. Okay, continuously applies from now to future, but always it is now. No one meets the future. No one meets the future. It is always now. Even though we talk about the future, it is now at that time. Okay, so this is continuous process. What? Integrated environmental prevention strategy or the cleaner production approach. It's a continuous process. Okay, it's a continuous process because you won't meet the future. Yeah. So it is now, even after 10 years when you plan it, when it comes to 10 years afterwards, it is now at that time. So we are always in the now. Good. So cleaner production assessments means, so how to assure this? How to assess this is really think of the human and environment, not only for now, but for the future. So you have to assess this. You have to judge how well we are doing this. So we have to assess the cleaner production practice. Assess it because we can use the words, we can say this, but saying is not enough. How to measure this? How to evaluate this? How to assess this? This means the cleaner production practice. That is very important. So we have to have this cleaner production assessment all the while. How ready or how well are we practicing cleaner production? Or how poor are we practicing cleaner production? Or how we can initiate a cleaner production practice? So that is very important. Yeah. That is very, very important. And this cleaner production is of course related with the science and technology and management, including the leaderships. Leaderships. So assessment means, assessment. Yeah, even you have the continuous assessments, but anyway, in the continuous assessment, you may be doing some assignment. Okay. So, but based on the assignment, you may be assessed. Yeah. Anyway, even in the continuous assessment, evaluation is there. Okay. So continuous assessment is something like the systematic evaluation of your subject knowledge maybe. So part of that is assessment of the continuous assessment. But yeah, even in the cleaner production assessment, it's a systematic procedure for the identification and evaluation of cleaner production options or possibilities or the means to improve the cleaner production aspect. So there should be some way of evaluating how well the cleaner production practices are there in the industry. So that's why you have to move the words little bit deeper to have a fingertips, to have the knowledge at the fingertips, information at the fingertips. That means. So for the cleaner production assessment, you need to use the tools, maybe tools to identify the areas or opportunities to improve. That's why the socio-economic environment aspects, we have to look into that. Yeah. So cleaner production assessment. So assessment, you know what is that? It's an evaluation. Yeah. So evaluation is systematic and it has a procedure to evaluate. Yeah. Okay. to identify and also to evaluate the cleaner production options or possibilities. So we have to use the tools, the methods to identify the areas, opportunities to improve cleaner production. So this one, there are no pictures, but this understanding should be based on the previous these things. Okay, to assess this one. Okay, to assess this. To assess this. Okay, so the keywords: systematic procedures, identification, evaluation of cleaner production, options or possibilities. Okay, so we have to use the tools to identify. This is the same. Okay, this is the same. Here only addition is that options for the companies that are launching a cleaner production process. It means some companies are yet to launch the cleaner production project. Means to assess, to evaluate how good or bad they are on cleaner production, their situation of cleaner production practices. So the companies, they have to launch this kind of cleaner production projects. Without implementing cleaner production projects and some policies, there won't be any cleaner production practices taken place. And improvements, there should be some continuous process. Continuous process, continuous improvements of cleaner production. So evaluation, the assessments always important. So that's why there should be some methods or the tools to evaluate, okay, for the companies. Even in Sri Lanka, the cleaner production is maybe for many companies, they have never thought of cleaner production yet. If we have cleaner productions, our rivers should be clean, but you know water quality of the rivers when it comes, when those are crossing through the cities and towns, even the Kalani River is polluted. Even the other rivers also polluted, canals are polluted, waterways are polluted, because no one think of the cleaner production aspects of their enterprises, no matter big or small. It is not the scale or the size, but it is how well qualitatively they are practicing this. That is the most important part. So this is another slide for you to grab the concepts and the photographic, the memories of the previous slides about cleaner production. So this is what's a cleaner production is: a preventive, integrated, considering everything, input, output, process, byproducts, waste, and human environment from now and future. You are considering all. So preventive integrated environmental policy applied to the entire production and service cycle. So if applied to the entire production, sometimes the production means the industries, they really do manufacturing. So service means the service type industries, okay, like the insurance or the hotel sector. So we have some service cycles. Yeah, service cycles. Hotel sector service cycle may be once a guest coming and leaving. So there should be some service cycle. And also there can be no other service cycles identified. Yeah, even the hospital sector, there could be service cycle. Cycle means it repeats. Production cycle means it repeats. Comes from the raw material, output there, byproduct waste, and this being repeated or continuously, this process is on, or is the process being kept going, yeah, keep going. Yeah. So that's why those are cyclic mostly. So cleaner production is the preventive integrated environmental policy means approaches, the well documented guidelines, the directions, Instructions, those are contained in the policy. Directions, guidelines, even the visions, missions, goals, short-term goals, long-term, and all the things are there. Statements, documents, even the flow charts, then the manuals, whatever instructions. So all combined, everything can be the policy. Okay, it's a master document, master considering all. So the cleaner production. So this should be applied on products, processes, and the services. In our first page, first slide, you can remember products in one column. Some industries, enterprises, the products. Even the service products are there. Then the manufactured products are there. Okay, processes are there, services are there again. Okay, so the products and services and the processes. Okay, so when it comes to products, so products related environmental policies. Okay, environmental protection, cleaner production approaches are here. Only a few are listed here. There can be more. Reduction of waste through better design. When you have a very good design to minimize the waste, even in the manufacturing or even in the usage of the product. Then the use of waste for new products. Yeah, use of waste. Can you remember that? Waste here, yeah, on the previous slides. So use of waste for new products. Okay. Improve the design for recyclability means you can recycle some scrap or whatever so-called waste if there is a possible to recycle. And enhance life cycles. So also the improve the design. So if the life cycle is longer, means it has a better long lasting, maybe longer life cycle means you no need to recycle the equipment, or you no need to throw it away, but you can continuously use. So it reduces the demand for the new products. Reducing the demand for the new products means, anyway, it's like controlling the demand for new products means manufacturers, hello? Yeah, means the manufacturers, they also can control the quantities and the volumes. Anyway, the enhanced life cycles are important. Processes, you can go through this. Conservation of raw material, energy and water. Means minimizing the losses, minimizing the waste. Have the very efficient processes, reduction of emissions, evaluation of technology options, reductions of costs and risk, because the human also you have to consider. Services. So even in the services, you have to use efficient environmental management systems. So that is very important. Also the impacts of cleaner production when you practice the cleaner production. The impacts, improved efficiencies, better environmental performance, increased competitive advantages. Okay. The services, efficient environmental management in design and delivery of the services. Yeah. Because services, there are environmental aspects when you design this and the delivery of the services. So you can see nowadays some very innovative service-oriented businesses, example like the Uber services, it's efficient. Right? So even you can see that kind of, anyway, those are related to some logistics, innovative logistics, or some supply chain simple solutions. Yeah. So efficient environmental management in the design and delivery of those services. Services are cheap because they are using less resources somehow. Yeah. So, so anyway, these are tips for you when you start something very good. When you are starting an enterprise, you have to think a lot, you know. So these are some pointers for you to think how solidly you start a business. So you have a very good plan for that. Plan for a business. You know that when you start with this way, it is a very good enterprise. It is more than making money, you know. It is more than making money. It's a very good exemplary. Means it's an example to the society, your business or the enterprise. So you are not only making money, you are doing it in a quite good, environmentally friendly, socially friendly, and economy friendly style. Yeah. So you will be very smart businessman, entrepreneur. That's why. So even entrepreneurships may be subjects, but you when you learn only the memory base. What's the definition of entrepreneur and these kind of useless knowledge is really useless. But when you are becoming a good entrepreneur, what are the practices to be? What directions you should take? Note and what are the innovations, the areas should be considered. So those are the tools you need to become entrepreneur. So when you start something, even subject module, you should learn. If you learn the entrepreneurship, your objective is how can I be a good entrepreneur? So then is the knowledge I'm receiving is enough for that? What are the shortcomings of the knowledge? How you are going to get that knowledge again? So those things are important. That's why the bottom line of the subject should be very fruitful, results and the goal oriented. So I hope our cleaner production subject, you are getting enriched on how you can move forward even when you are recruited as an employee. Yeah. How you can contribute. Yeah. So this knowledge is very important, very essential knowledge. This one. So assume that now we have an organization. Same like I will go back. We have a process solved. We have not yet thought of. We haven't thought of cleaner production practice yet. Imagine for your business, you are just going to implement clean production, or you are just going to look into clean production. You're just going to look into that. This is the very first time your business or the company you working. This is the very first time you are looking into future from now. Okay, looking into future from now. Okay, to work out the environment prevention strategy. Now only you are looking into. Okay. So then that's what we call the cleaner production. So we have to assess it first when you start first time. Or even when you continuously practice cleaner production, still you have to assess it. So in the cleaner production, assessment of your company, your organization, your enterprise, what you are dreaming for, or even you can imagine. So there can be some phases. Those are little practical aspects. The leadership related, the planning, the organization, the assessment, pre-assessment phase. You have to take the something like taking the stocks. Now the current situation, then the assessment, feasibility, means that when you have the ideas, is it possible to implement those? Yeah, see feasibility, after feasibility, you do implementation. So this is something like a specific task. Specific tasks you are carrying out to have this overall integrated environmental prevention, yeah, industrial some process of the assessment. So this is something like a specific task, or we call it project. Okay, cleaner production project. So some 5 steps are there. So you can look into the web for this. Don't worry, cleaner production. So planning and organization. Yeah, so here the planning and organization means, of course, the leadership should have a greater interest on this. So that is what we call the management commitment. Then somehow the employees are involved. They have to think about the costs as well. Project team establish the project team. Then identify barriers and solutions means. Those are anyway situational. And first you have to develop the environmental policy based on the organization uh, style and organization type. Then you have to set the objectives and targets, because when you start something, you should know what you are doing. So the objectives and targets, so the basic, the planning, the organizing, and the getting the organizations, the total involvement. So you do, this is really the planning stage. Okay, planning and organizing. Instead of organization, you can see organizing. Yeah. So anyway, this project has to incur some cost for this, so the cost awareness of that and this. Yeah, so the planning stage, that is the first thing. You get the ideas and all, and you know what to do, and you plan how to do this. Yeah, and what are the barriers and the challenges you have to face in establishing the project team. Yeah. Anyway, the financial aspect also should be important. Yeah. Stressing the financial aspects, the benefits and all. And the leadership is what the management commitment. So they have to be committed to this. Then the company descriptions, flow charts, so those kind of things. Yeah, you can look into maybe in case by case. The pre-assessments where we can control or where we can act on. So the manufacturing flow chart. So this is about example. Uh, the waste, the sources of processed waste in the factory producing salted peanut. Yeah. Anyway, those are food industries. But anyway, it's peanut, but they are doing in style. So you can see the waste sources, identify the sources and input, output. See, some little processes, sub-processes, all these unit processes arranged in the flow. That's how the final product is coming. So each and every this sub-process or the unit operations, so the activities, points of activities, you can see the inputs and the outputs. Of course, output is flowing downwards, and laterally what you are using is the product losses and some outputs as well. So product losses you can see, so minimizing the losses. So basic understanding. Okay. Then once you have the basic understanding, you can quantify this. You can quantify how much we can save, how much we can preserve, how much we can minimize the waste, or how much we can reduce the inputs and all. So first you see the achievability, then you measure it. Also, when you measure it, and you outline how to achieve this assessment. So assessment procedures, yeah. Don't worry about this. So the assessment procedures, these are a little bit practical oriented. So different processes, you have the inputs and you have the products, outputs, and then the waste and emissions are there. So some inputs, the technologies, and also the process operations are there. So some instructions, working instructions and all, sometimes these processes may be totally manual. So the further details of the inputs and outputs. So you identify the waste, okay, for this particular case. So you have the waste, uh, waste mentioned here. So those are something from the case studies, okay. Then you can outline the cleaner production options, option generation, because you identify the possibilities, then of the cleaner production, the possibilities, and then now the generation of the options. Right? Technology modifications possible, good housekeeping, product modifications, input substitutions. Yeah. So you need some exposure and technical knowledge and know-how of the products and the processes when you step into clean production approaches in particular area of industries and enterprises. So your knowledge and exposure is very important. So this is for some experts who are involved in or who have some good experience in this kind of processes, or at least they have some tools to move forward. Then you do the feasibility studies. Is it how costly the changes and all, and you do the evaluation, the technical feasibilities, economic feasibilities, and the positive impact for the environment, and then you can select the options. So this is example feasibility evaluations of another food industry. This is in China, Beijing Brewery. So, so they have done some quantitative assessments, yeah, of the cleaner production, this implementations. So then you have to implement it, and then you have to continue this. So include the prepare cleaner production plans, implementation of the feasible options, monitor the progress, and sustain cleaner production activities. Means anyway you have to continue with this cleaner production activities with no much of hardships. So you have to eliminate the barriers and all. Okay. So that's all about the implementation and continuation. Okay. Yeah. So I will upload this to Google Classroom, so you can go through this again. Now here, the situation is you have to think like you are working or you are having an ownership of this company or something. You have to imagine that you are fully on this. Okay? You are fully on this. Then if you are fully on this, you can have this mind mappings and all. And then you look into this as a responsible citizen, thinking from now and future. And you have to move forward. Definitions, the cleaner production approaches here. Then the 5 phases. So you have to have some planning and some pre-assessments. So maybe you can imagine some industries, so even you can browse some case studies on the web and you can get this. Anyway, there are no hard and fast rules like this. But anyway, the cleaner production policies for the organizations are very important. Policies leads to actions and solutions, and even to innovations. So that is the cleaner production assessment related one, to be the approach. But the assessments are only this. This is quite practical, 5 stages. First stage is quite understandable, the planning and the organizing, even the organization mentioned, and the project, the implementation. So before implementation, of course, feasibility analysis. So before feasibility analysis, the assessments and the solution outline. Before number 3, it is the pre-assessment, of course. Pre-assessment, before that is the first phase. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you think from 1 to 5, and also you think from 5 to 1, down to up, and top to down. Okay. So think of both the approaches. So implementations, and then the continuation of cleaner production means on and off continually. You have to have the pre-assessments, assessment phase, and the feasibility and the implementations. Yeah. So before this, yeah, the management commitment, the leadership, the team formation, all are done. And this is really established in the organization chart. So these five phases are quite rational, quite practical. This is what is happening. Sometimes these 2 and 3 can be combined. Assessment phase, no separate pre-assessment, just assessment. And then after assessment, maybe the innovation phase. Innovation means the improvement phase. So innovation phase, then you do the feasibility of this. Yeah. So you can change in that way, the planning, assessments, innovations and improvements, feasibility and implementation. Also possible, that's why. So you can use any terminology because these are mere wordings, but when it comes to practice, yeah, there can be changes. So five phases can be different 5 phases. Pre-assessment and assessment as one. So let me include that that page here. Okay, let me include that page. So I will take a new slide. New slide. Let me type for you phases. 5 phases. So I write here. I would rather not 5 phases of cleaner production. New industry and services. All are industries. So service industry or manufacturing industry or whatever industries. First is you need the leadership, management commitment, then the team building, project teams and all, and then setting up the goals, missions, policies, etc. There should be a lot. Okay, that's why you can just type. No need to memorize this, so you can think of any situation. Okay. Then item 2 is assess the situation. Okay, assessing the situation. Based on cleaner production tools, maybe improve the social aspects of that, economic aspects, productivities, then the waste minimizations, minimizing the byproducts, or even improving the recyclability, whatever. Assessing the situation based on CP tools and look into the possible and identify possible opportunities, options, actions, whatever. Assessing the situation and identify this. Then item 3 is something like the identification. So once you identify the possible opportunities and all, once you identify this, then you can look into the feasibility. So this is the item 3 is the pre-assessment, let's say. Pre-assessment here. Yeah, let's say pre-assessment. And assessment. So this is item through 2 and 3. Then the innovations, changes, improvements, identified, and the methods, ways and means, identified, and feasibility. Feasibility means possibility of implementations done with the evaluation of return on investments, ROI. Invest on this, and the impact on the environment. So you have to evaluate this with the evaluation of this innovation, change, and improvement. Then fourth stage is implementation. Implementation is the fourth stage. Fifth, monitoring and control. Then you have to do the continual means not continuous but continual. It is something like continuous, but continual means stage by stage, continual. Practice of shaping. So you can write this way. So based on your exposure, imaginations, you can write this. Yeah, anyway, somehow you can see 5 steps. Or yeah, 5 steps or 5 to 6. 5 to 6 steps you can see. Or 4 to 6 steps. Or major steps. So when we ask from in the exam, what are the major steps? Major steps in initiating cleaner production program. So you can write the major steps. It can be 4 steps. It can be 5 steps. It can be 6 steps. Or even it can be 3 steps. Yeah, you can explain this. Okay. And you can look into some examples if possible. If you have some industrial experience or exposures, you can explain this. So this is what I just want. Experience based. Okay. Experience based. You can understand. So that's how it is. So today lesson is totally on a mission of implementing cleaner production, starting from the policies, from the leadership downwards to implementation and monitoring and controls, and also to continually practice cleaner production. Continually, it is something like continuously, but continuously means non-stop, but continually means step by step, stage by stage, and there is a frequency is there. Okay, that's how. So this is something very important, because when it comes to the implementation, so the practical aspects, today lesson is useful. And also there is a tool here, very interesting. Okay. How to improve the sustainability? When we improve the sustainability, that's why it is not only the environmental friendliness you are improving, but the social friendliness, economic friendliness. So the cleaner production, this approach is a guideline for everything to bring the sustainability of the product usage in the manufacturing and the service processes, the sustainability improvements. That's all. So very interesting. This is also kind of master slide. I have shared this with IM students earlier. Any questions? Any questions today? Putana Thirunan. Hey, can you understand this? Can you understand?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's a surprise to me if you understand to the fullest. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So you should have a very good basic understanding of this. And even in the interviews, when you go to interviews, you should speak up your basic sense of cleaner production. You can talk about this. How cleaner production leads to innovation, what ways you can contribute. Hmm? That's why. So you may be about to face the interviews and all, or further studies, or whatever the good positions. So these are some tools for you to use when you face the interviews to get good marks. You will get the chances to speak up. So you can talk about this. Nowadays, manufacturing, the management is different from last time. We have to think more on the environment, the cleaner production practices, improving the sustainabilities. The industries should not only be the profit making, but should be environmentally and socially friendly. So we have to improve the sustainability of the industries, the products and all. So we have the capacity to contribute this. You can talk these things when you go to interviews. So they feel very happy to take you with whatever the salary you need. That's why. So the industries need nowadays, yeah, wise people, wise young people like you all. So this will help you to get that wisdom to contribute for the industry. That's why even when you write your project proposals to get fundings, you can write about this. Yeah, your knowledge is there, you put this. So at your young age, when you reflect your capacity with this knowledge and all, people will be happier, decision makers will be happier. They will sure support you with funds and more. That's why this knowledge is very, very important for manufacturing, for food industries, food processing students, and for industrial management students. So this is a wonderful subject for you all to know. But unfortunately, our age, we learn all from the experience. At your age, we didn't know cleaner production. Yeah, frankly. But later we realized how important these things, those things, when we were in the industries and all, when we do the innovations, when we do the designs, we practically realized this, but we didn't have this basic knowledge. And now you have the basic knowledge. So you are more stronger than what we were those days at your age. And that's all. So very happy to say that. So going to stop the class now. So good luck, Putala. So let me upload this to the Google Classroom for you to see the recordings repeatedly. And please expect one question out of these slides today I shared with you. Cleaner production implementation. So this is a very important aspect. So thank you very much. Let me end the session. Good luck to you. Take care. This again, Corona is coming up. So be responsible, be indoors as much as possible, and take care. Thank you very much for listening and paying the attention. Okay, good luck then. Bye.